and I'm the founder and executive director of YAFFED, Young Advocates for Fair Education. Thank you all for being here. There's a lot to cover, so I'll jump right into it, and I'll try to be quick, but please bear with me. On July 27, 2015, we filed a complaint with New York City Department of Education, alleging that many ultra-Orthodox and Hasidic yeshivas are not providing their students with an education that is at least substantially equivalent to that of public school as mandated by law. A little more than 3 years later, last week, on Thursday, August 16th, a letter that Chancellor Richard Carranza sent to New York State Education Department Commissioner Mary Ellen Ilya was released to the public. In the letter, the Chancellor provides the state with an update on the investigation into the yeshivas, describes some of the findings, a timeline, a collaborative effort to improve the yeshiva education, and finally a request from the state to help the city deal with the many yeshivas that simply refused to allow the investigators in. The letter is a much-needed affirmation that a serious problem exists in many ultra-Orthodox and Hasidic yeshivas, and our allegations have been corroborated in it. We're pleased that Chancellor Richard Carranza kept his promise to be more transparent than his predecessor, and that he did not cave to the same pressure that Carmen Farina did. At the same time, the letter and the investigation it describes fall short in many ways, which I will go over soon. But let me begin by presenting a scenario to you. A college student at the end of the semester is given a final exam, but the student asks for an extension, and another extension, and another extension, and finally turns in the exam and still only managed to answer half of the questions. What grade would you give that student? Would you have high hopes that for this student's ability to complete other projects and assignments or to thrive in the real world? So again, while we're grateful that for the Chancellor for releasing this update, it is disconcerting that this is all the city has got after more than 3 years. The most obvious and disturbing finding of this report is that 15 yeshivas refused to let the city investigators in, and the city allowed that to go on for 3 years with impunity. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that the yeshivas can block entry when they are under investigation, and it's unacceptable that the city waited 3 years to say so publicly. Do you think there's any other scenario in which the city would collude with those under investigation and hold off calling them out like this for 3 full years? And let's be very clear, there's only one reason for why yeshivas would bar the city from entry. They're hiding something. I would venture and say that the education and perhaps other aspects of those schools is so bad that even with advance notice, they could not get their acts together and demonstrate compliance with the law. Half of the yeshivas could not even do that. That's how bad things are. It's also clear that the ones that were visited needed a lot of improvement, and that even after only visiting the yeshivas in the 3rd year of the investigation, the secular education observed there amounts to little in quantity and poor in quality. I want to focus on a few other things in this report, including broad themes as well as some of the specific claims. The first theme is the outsized role yeshiva leaders played in controlling their own investigation. Overall, it seems the investigation was mostly yeshiva-led and not city-led. You'll see throughout the report that it was the yeshivas who controlled the direction and the scope of the investigation, with little pushback from the city. In several instances, the report says, according to a Pearl's representative, or as described by representatives of the yeshiva. In one instance, the letter states the following: the schools have clearly made progress by creating culturally appropriate secular curricula. And it goes on to say, although the DOE did receive an outline and several samples of the curricula, the schools have not provided the DOE with a full set of materials, and therefore DOE cannot currently assess the quality of the curriculum. So all of this praise is based on the promises and commitments from yeshiva leaders who have demonstrated, including in this past week, a propensity for disregarding the truth. And you will see that Pearls, an organization that was created to protect the 39 yeshivas in our complaint, is named numerous times throughout the letter. But YAFFED, the organization that brought the complaint, assisted with the interviews of the yeshiva graduates and stood ready to assist the DOE in everything they needed, was not mentioned once. Whose decision was that, and who do you think this was designed to serve? When the city met with yeshiva leaders, they detailed those who were present. There was a law professor who's Hasidic and an applied psychology professor. But when it comes to describing the meetings with YAFFED, they simply refer to us as complainants, and there's no mention of the renowned civil rights attorney, Norman Siegel, who was present.